said anything yet.
But I mean, it's full. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the TD Report. David Combs here with Tony Kennedy. How's everybody doing this Monday? Well,
Great.
Tony, we're going to dedicate this show tonight to a good friend of the show, good friend of ours that we've known since we were doing the Kickoff Classics together. Why don't you go ahead and do the honors, sir?
Yeah. Unfortunately, on this past Thursday, we had a good friend of ours and a violent. I mean, he was a crazy supporter of this show. Wayne the Voice Matthews. He's always was the one that was encouraging us to always do things the right way on air. He was the voice of youth sports. He was the voice of the youth crab bowl. He called the main crab bowl, the last crab bowl before the pandemic. He was always the supporter of ours, always shared everything. Most people don't know Wayne was just about to take over the youth crab bowl and go inside the University of Maryland, inside Coalfield House. That was going to be his next big project that he was going to do. He unfortunately passed on Thursday evening. Was watching the Kansas City Chiefs game, and I just was devastated. I'm really still devastated by the news. And Wayne, man, this one for you, boy. I mean, you always been there, and that love for them Steelers. So, Big Wayne, we're gonna miss you, bro.
Yeah, Tony. Looking through the history of the show, almost nobody has supported us more than Wayne. As far as he literally might have commented on every single show we did, every single one. From when we started out on Facebook Live, Wayne the
Yep.
Voice was there. I've been in the booth with Wayne doing the Patriot Classic as well as the Kickoff Classic. We worked in the booth together doing game production. Wayne obviously was the voice because he had the voice. And everyone knew when Wayne was calling a game, he had a signature style and a way to do it. And it made the kids feel good, didn't it, Tony? The
Yeah.
kids that were playing the game, little guys, to hear their name over the loudspeaker, to hear their name as playing well or doing good on the field. It was really important to do that for our youth. And when I say our youth, I'm also talking about our high schools. But these were the little guys. These were the younger guys. And listen, say what you like. A guy like Chase Young, he started out getting his name shouted out by Wayne the Voice. That's
Yeah,
the younger guys.
yeah. Wayne, his signature thing was nicknames. He would give everybody a nickname. Even parents would get a nickname. Everybody would get a nickname, and they would stick to that nickname, and I call him Nickname Wayne, and he always, I mean, and till he passed, we would talk once every week and a half. It was like it worked out to like every week and a half for about an hour. Just talking and just trying to get things together, and man, it's just so it hurts. Yeah, it really does.
Mhm.
That one hurts.
From all of us here at the TD Report to Wayne Matthews' family, we would like to send our heartfelt condolences. Very sorry to hear about your loss, and please reach out to Big Tony and to me if you need anything. We are just so heartbroken by this because again, when you do a show like this, everybody, Wayne was literally like the guy that walks into Cheers every day. He's the guy that walks into your bar or walks into your store and you see him every day. So again, thinking about him puts a smile on my face because of the things that he did, the good works that he did as a man, as a person. But I'm very saddened as well as everybody is here about the show. So, we're going to turn on a dime here. We're going to do what Wayne wanted us to do. We're going to talk football today. And wherever you are out there, Wayne, rest in peace, rest in power. We thank you. All right. Big weekend in the NFL. Obviously, there was an upset, big upset we're going to talk about. But Jody might not think that was an upset, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about the home team, man. Look, We diss Washington when they do something bad, when they do the wrong thing.
Mhm.
This week, they won this game, and they did a pretty decent job doing it, Tony. You know what I like most about Washington in this game? I appreciated their resiliency. They didn't let go. They didn't give up. They kept fighting, which is what you're supposed to do. Now, Ron Rivera's teams are not known for being quitters and just rolling over, right? If you're better than they are, like the Buffalo Bills were when they came in here and beat Washington up, this game was different. They were on a losing skid, and they go into Atlanta. They figure it out. They get the W, and the defense stands tall at the very end.
Yeah, yeah, I see it as, I mean, it to me is a typical Ron Rivera game. He's going to have some down times during the year, but then they'll put together a string. But it just seems like they're just always tinkering at 500. They're always going to stay at 500, and that was a good win. That was even though the defense gave up a lot, they made timely plays. 3 interceptions, one in the end by Jamin Davis, but the big one was in the end zone. And I mean, when you take a team and they drive all the way down and you get a pick in the end zone, that's deflating. And that was a good win. They needed that win, to keep up in the division with Philly, who's the leader, and to kind of give them some hope, to make it, because if you take Philly out, I mean, that's the division winner. You're looking at all the other teams that are hovering around the 3-3 and the 4-2. That's who you're fighting, and that win against Atlanta may be a win that puts them into a 7th spot. Yeah, I mean, you never know the way this stuff is playing. The first tiebreaker is head to head.
See, I don't want to be a negative Nancy, right? But winning this game in Atlanta, then you got to look back at the 2 games they did lose. Chicago game. Why did you lose that one? And definitely the Eagles. That was probably the more important of the 2 losses between the Eagles and the Bears. You can almost afford to lose the Bears game, but you were so close to beating the Eagles. You should have beaten the Eagles. If you beat the Eagles come out here this week, and that's the big upset. Eagles mess around and lose to the Jets. You of Washington, you should literally be sitting 1 game out. You'd be 1 game out of the division right now, right?
Yeah, if they beat the Bears and they beat the Eagles,
Right.
they would be in first place.
They would be tied for first place or in second solid.
They will be in first place with 1 loss.
With 1 loss. So think about it, Tony. Is the Washington Commanders, are they getting better? Or are they just lucky?
No, are they getting better? Well, yeah. You can't have your quarterback on a record pace of getting sacked. Your defense is giving up the most points and yards. So you're getting better. You got to look at those numbers to say, are you getting better? I mean, 1 game, you had a 3-game losing streak. Ask that question next week. That's a question that you ask next week. Okay. Are they getting better? Because they lost to Chicago badly.
At home,
and then you beat Atlanta. Are you getting better? Talk to me next week. When you're 3-3, are you getting better? I mean, that's like saying if we know if Dallas lose tonight, you can't say they're getting better. They're getting worse.
They're getting worse.
It's hard, over a long season. Are you getting better? You got to start looking at numbers, the numbers that everybody else look at. I look at them. Are they playing? Are they playing better? Offensively, I think Howell is getting better. But their defense, that is what's going to be the key. That defense. Mm-hmm. You cannot give up 410 yards per game. You can't do that in this league if you're trying to win and at least just get to the playoffs. I mean, you're going to have – you may be able to do it because Dallas offense is terrible. Giants offense isn't great. The Eagles are struggling. So maybe when they get in division games, let's ask that question because those are the important games.
Well, you're going to get a division game next week. The New York Giants are going to come into town. New York Giants having a rough season, buddy.
Rough.
New York Giants lose last night to the Buffalo Bills. Right down to the end, had a shot. When it comes down to with New York, with Daniel Jones out, Tyrod Taylor has to take over. He had them in position. Okay, I'll say that.
Big time.
There were points that he could have gotten at the end of the first half. There was a miscommunication. He had the wrong play, or he audibled out into something he should not have, and they left some points there off the scoreboard. They left some points on the field. When you get down to the end of a tight game against a better opponent, Tony, you need everything to quote unquote go your way. And when you can get those points, you can get them. Tyrod has been in the league a long time. What, 12-year veteran, right?
Yep. 12,
He's been in the league 12
veteran.
years. I'm not going to put the gloss on him. I'll say this. The New York Giants defense played great. Kept that game manageable, kept it close. The offense did enough to win, but in the end, the Bills escape. And that's who the Washington Commanders play next week.
Where's the game at?
I don't know. Cody, find out where that game is, home or away.
That always makes a difference for their game.
I don't think in this rivalry, Tony,
listen,
it doesn't.
If the Giants defense played like that, they played lights out against the preseason MVP favorite, Josh Allen, boom, boom, boom. If their defense play like that, they're going to be in every game this season. That means that the offense just got to do enough. If the offense just got to score 17 points a game, that takes you from 400 winning level to 700 winning level.
Well,
that Giants defense was good.
This game makes Washington fans a little queasy. Number one, like you said, division game. This is an old rivalry. These two teams have been battling out since the 1950s. Right?
Yeah. It goes long.
They've been battling. They've been duking it out, Washington and New York in football for a long, long time. So you factor that in. You factor in the fact that they're right up I-95 from us. A lot of New York fans are already down here. A lot of Washington fans are up there. So to me, it don't matter where the game is played. It's literally the guys on the field have to get the job done. But one thing that does make Washington fans queasy, the prospect of possibly having to face Saquon Barkley, because he is a talented back. He can break a game open. All right. He went for 93 yards last night against a pretty good Bills defense. It wasn't enough. But again, Washington fans, he makes them a little nervous. I don't know if they're going to have Daniel Jones back, but Daniel Jones is known to have good games against Washington. If he's back next week, what does he have? Sore neck? I think that's what it is,
Sore
right?
neck, yeah.
Got sore neck. Okay. If Daniel Jones is back next week, I guarantee you it's going to make Washington fans a little skittish. They're going to be nervous about this game, and they're already nervous. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to make my pick on that game. I will take Washington to win that. Give me Washington.
Yeah, I have. It depends if Daniel Jones is playing or not.
If Daniel Jones is playing, I'll take. If Daniel Jones is playing, I'm a little bearish on it. But if it's Tyrod Taylor, I'll give the edge to Washington. Then again, I will say this: you give a 13-year veteran another week, getting all the first-team reps. You don't know what you're gonna see next week from Tyrod Taylor. He might be a little better.
The key to that game is the Giants' defense. If that defense play, they can beat everybody in the NFC, even the Dallas Cowboys that they lost to 40-0, they'll beat them if their defense play like that.
So let's talk about the rest of the division, save for the Cowboys, because we'll save those for when CJ comes on. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. You asked for him, you got him. Our friend and yours, CJ TV in the house. How you doing, CJ?
Hey, what's happening? What's happening, yo?
Everybody, CJ is in game day shape right now. He is definitely ready to go. Again, thanks for joining us. Let's talk about this game we got going on here. First of all, a lot went on in the division yesterday. In particular, Washington wins. New York loses. Philadelphia loses a game. Philadelphia loses for the first time to the New York Football Jets. And the Jets fans are pretty excited about it. But the Jets defense played tough. Jalen Hurts looked a little uncomfortable. Didn't look himself. What did you think about that game right there and what that portends to the rest of the season or the rest of the division?
Well, before the game, I actually said that the that was a good matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles offense versus that defense. And they got dogs all across the board, man. So I knew it was going to be a good matchup. If you take away if you can stop the run against Philly and force them to be one dimensional, just like any other team, it brings everybody back down to life. And you got those guys coming off the edge like that. And Jalen wasn't his normal Houdini yesterday. He wasn't able to get away from the spins. He was trying, but he was getting hit yesterday. And he wasn't stepping into them throws at the end of the game, which led to more interceptions, as you saw. He didn't step into those because every time he stepped up, he was getting popped. He was getting touched every time he took a step up, man. So that was just a pretty good offensive defensive matchup. And they put the Eagles in a situation where they weren't comfortable and they hadn't been in for a long time and got them to press. Normally the Eagles force you to press. You know, they stay in character and they stay in the form. And Jalen Hurts, you know, if you give him time, he's gonna pick you apart. So we can't look at Jalen Hurts as just a running quarterback anymore. He's a true professional. He can make every throw on the field, and when he gets out of the pocket and his legs, he was still dangerous yesterday with his legs. You know, it was just in those crucial situations that they normally make the play. They didn't make them yesterday.
Talk to me about Zach Wilson. He was able to preside over a Jets offense. They relied a bit on the running game to get things done, but they got enough points. Right. What did you think about Zach Wilson? A lot has been said negative about this guy over the first 5 weeks of the season, pressed into duty due to the injury to Aaron Rodgers.
I personally think he held his own. What I saw different yesterday in Zach Wilson was he looked confident to me. You know, he made up his mind. He threw the ball. And he had a couple bad throws in the game as well, but he was more confident. Like when he took the snap, I know where I'm going with the ball. And when you got a wide receiver like Wilson connection, he forced the ball a couple of times. Yep. He forced the ball a couple of times, but he didn't pay for him like he normally did. And I think for the first time that I've seen him in a long time, he understood, if I don't do nothing crazy, the defense gonna win this game for me. You know? So I think it kind of clicked for the first time. You know, this defense is out here balling. All I got to do is make the safe, quick throw. You know, I might have to make 4 or 5 more plays this game because I don't think it clicked in there after halftime. I think it finally clicked. He said, if I make 4 or 5 more plays, we're going to win the game because the defense is playing lights out.
Hey, Tony. Thanks, CJ. That's good. Tony, what do you think about this? Aaron Rodgers was in the booth and he was actively helping. That's a big difference from the Aaron Rodgers that we seem to know or we've seen over the years. What did you think about that? I think that's good news.
You have to see Aaron Rodgers was down on the field throwing passes. You know, for a person at exactly a month out of tearing his Achilles, they're talking about that there's an outside chance of him being able to come back. Now, you talking about a New York story. Man, oh man, what you had to realize yesterday, man, what yesterday told football fans and all over the country is that defense. It was the Jets, the Giants, and the Browns. Now, one team didn't come up because they didn't win in the end. But I am telling you, those 3 defenses right now, whatever they did to those teams, you have to look at it. Look at who they were playing against. They were playing against everybody's new MVP, Brock Purdy. They was playing against last year's should have been MVP, Hurts. And they was playing against Josh Allen. Those are 3 of the top. And those defenses yesterday made them look regular. So when I am telling you folks, from here on out, those defenses are going to shape how we're going to play. Because right now, as a Cowboy fan, thank God the Giants can be 3-4 games behind. Because that defense last night that I saw them playing, if they show up in our division, they will be a problem.
You know what I did like what I saw yesterday, since we're here on the TD report, David Combs here with CJ Richardson down below and Tony Kennedy over there to my right. Hit the like and subscribe button for us, and also add us on Spotify. We're talking NFL football right now. We got CJ Richardson on here, CJ TV. You've got the Los Angeles Chargers stadium background out there. You're gearing up for Monday Night Football.
Hey, I always sit
Dallas
at the
Cowboys
scene
taking
of
on
the
the Chargers tonight.
I'm just sitting at the scene of the crime. But I want to touch on something that Tony said just a second ago. We disagree slightly. I think all of those teams that played well and won yesterday simply played above their heads. They see any given Sunday, any team is capable of winning, but every now and then it just clicks and you get it right for that Sunday, So I don't see any juggernauts coming out of what we saw this past Sunday, even though the Jets done it with some backups on that defense as well. Sauce Gardner didn't play yesterday, but we already knew that the Jets defense was scary. They just never put a whole game together. Okay, we knew that the Giants defense, when they bring their A game, can play with anybody. So we knew some of this, but we never see it. So they did it one week. Can they do it again? It's questionable. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Well, CJ, it's questionable because on the offensive side that they keep putting them in bad positions.
That's my point. So it takes more.
So in other words, maybe, just maybe, it's taking a month for some of the quarterbacks, like you said earlier. Oh, I didn't got to go to that pass down there. I can do the safe pass here and keep the chains moving and help my defense out. It takes time sometimes for guys to realize that I don't have to be the hero. I have to just be the role player inside of my offense, which will eventually help my defense out.
I get that.
And that right there, I think that some of those teams are just starting to figure this out. They're just starting to get. Remember, we just a month away.
I understand that. I only saw 160 minutes, and I'm not gonna go as far as to say all that right now. I saw 160 minutes. If they put 2 or 3 of those back to back, I'll be the first one to come back on the TD report and be like, Tony, you were right.
Which team we talking about? Hold on, TK. Hold on. Which teams we talking about? You talking about the Jets?
No, I'm talking about the Giants. He said that
you talking about the Giants. Okay,
yeah.
Just want to be sure.
Wait.
I'm cool with the Jets. I think the Jets will win 7-8 games. I do.
No, I with the
and
Jets,
then we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. But the Giants, the Giants are
So basically
3 more wins.
So let me get this straight. The Jets, the Giants, and who's the other team? And the Browns.
And the Browns.
All of them won with backup quarterbacks against, well, not all of them won because the Giants didn't win. All of them played with backup quarterbacks against elite talent. Okay. So what I'm saying is they look like they're figuring it out. And
I got a question for you, Tony.
If they can figure it out with backups,
I got a question for you,
Tony.
Damn
sure can figure it out.
I got a question for you.
I got
a question for you. And just give me your honest opinion. What was the Giants quarterback, Tyrod Taylor?
Yep.
Okay. Take away the money. Who would you rather have under center, Tyrod or Daniel Jones?
You asking the wrong person that, man.
But that's my point.
If you Washington,
I can't honestly answer that question.
Tyrod Taylor, because I know Tyrod is the consummate game manager, and he's going to stay out of most trouble. Daniel Jones going to come back in there and be worse than Tyrod because he's a risk taker.
He's a turnover machine.
See, this is where we can go, because if Daniel Jones come back in, he's coming back again against the team that he has the most success against. So it could be skewed. So we might have to wait another week because he always plays well against Washington.
Want to give a shout out.
I've never seen that in my life.
I got you.
So it could be a little skewed. So folks, remember that. Don't trip on that. We got to wait for him to play against somebody else.
Okay.
Let me get a shout out to one of our texters, Darius Thomas. Darius went to high school with me at St. John's. He said that Daniel Jones tends to play well against Washington, so they don't want to see him. You see what I'm saying? And I get it because you've talked about it, Tony. Styles make fights. There's always that one guy that gives you trouble. You know what I'm saying? If you know a fighter has trouble with a lefty and they put a southpaw in the ring with him, you say, "Uh-oh, it's going to be a long day." It's the same type of situation.
Styles make fights. And what that game last week, Dallas and San Francisco, what San Francisco showed me is that, yeah, they could play bully ball. But guess what? There's a bigger bully over there in Cleveland.
Well, let's talk about
defensive line. Cleveland was getting after them dudes because this time last week, let's not forget, we had Purdy as MVP. We had all this talk about how they can go undefeated.
Not we.
The whole world had all that.
No, well, I don't live in this world.
All that crap.
Yeah.
I had to hear all week how good they can be. They even had one dude that said, you can put everybody together in the NFL and San Francisco still would beat them. Really?
No.
Really?
Let me say this about the game. Let me say this. And by the way, shout out to the Browns. Great defense, great defensive plan. You know what the key to me, guys, against the Browns was? Their A gap, very strong in the A gap. They did a great job in there. And they tended to limit what San Francisco gets, what I consider free yards. Everything that should be a 3 or 4 yard gain, San Francisco getting 6, 8, 10 yards. They're getting bigger chunks. And what they were able to do, they tackled well. They pushed that pile back. They got back in Brock Purdy's lap. And frankly, Brock Purdy missed quite a few throws, quite a few that he normally
I don't think that was the key factor. I think the key factor in the game was McCaffrey got hurt and Debo got hurt. Because if they play a full game, we could have a different outcome. We got different matchups going down in the second half. But I do understand what you said fully, and I do agree with it. But for
injuries
real,
matter. I mean, but injuries happen. And listen. McCaffrey is known to get the ouchies.
Hey, everything you're saying, I understand.
He's known to get the ouchies. So for him to get knocked out of a game, for him to get knocked out of a game.
So they're just getting reciprocation of whatever was already happened before. This is not new.
This is the NFL. Guys get hurt.
Yeah, he was gonna get hurt anyway. Everybody know that. Just like Tyron Smith, every year I already know he might not make it to week 6.
Well, listen,
I fully agree.
When he was in Carolina, that was one of the problems that he had, was being able to stay healthy,
correct,
and stay on the field. Now he got the big money deal, and then ended up getting himself traded to a better team, and I get that. But what I've said many times, he's been known to get the ouchies. I'm not saying the guy. I'm not going to say he's not tough. I'm not dissing him or anything.
I get
but
it.
He ends up walking over to the sideline a little bit, and they patch him up. He goes back out there. That's cool. But yes, to lose those 2 pieces, and I don't make excuses for any team, all right? But to lose those 2 pieces is big.
Oh, no. Don't talk about how they lost anybody. They played without.
It's part of the game,
3 first-team All-Pros starting the game.
We're just talking football.
We're talking football.
If you want to talk football, then don't talk about who they ain't got when Cleveland don't have the people that they paid to have.
You think shouting gonna make you hey, look, Tony, we understand we all disagree.
We're not disagreeing with you.
But man, I don't mess with San Francisco.
TK, you wild for that, man. You wild.
Who wasn't on the field? Chubb wasn't on the field. Watson wasn't on the field. Get that crap.
Come on, man. We talking about you play with what you bring. Just like
the
Cowboys. Right. You play with what you bring. So what I'm saying is it was a difference in the outcome. You can all you want. I'm just being real.
No, okay. So a full strength, you give them Chubb, and if they have McCaffrey.
The game is over, man. The Browns won. What are we giving them full strength for? We just talking about the game.
Hey, listen, dog.
You just don't like the 49ers. I don't like them either.
No. Actually, I'm not a 49er hater. I just don't like the hype machine. I'm not a 49er hater.
Look,
I don't think anybody on this panel has hyped the 49ers.
I don't
hype them.
I don't hate the 49ers.
They are what they
like.
They
I
are
hate
what
some
they,
other teams. But what I hate is people hitting, oh, if so-and-so would have played. Guess what? Like I said earlier, football and injuries go together like peanut butter and jelly. And I don't want to hear about who was hurt.
Debates.
Joe Blow was hurt. I don't care.
But
what was
you
the
don't
score?
have to care, Tony. But if people are sports debating, we're not supposed to agree on everything.
It's fine. We ain't got to.
But that don't mean you got to overtalk every time somebody disagree with you.
Hey, what I'm telling you is that damn shit about them being hurt is the biggest excuse.
If Dak would have, if the referee wouldn't have took the catch away from Dez, we might have went to the Super Bowl. You can talk about
CJ.
Well,
I think I found a bigger 49ers hater than anybody in the world right now.
49ers not the team I hate on.
I think he over there.
I don't hate on the 49ers.
Oh no, I don't hate the 49ers. I hate the hype machine. See, all last week I had to argue with people about
if you took Brock Purdy
out,
it wasn't us.
If you took Brock Purdy out and put him in the Bears, that the Bears would be winning, and you could put Brock Purdy anywhere. And I had to hear that crap. There's a reason why he was Mr. Irrelevant, because he is limited. He's not limited in this offense because this offense fits his skill set. But don't hit me when you ain't got everything perfect around you. When your left tackle, who's the best in the game, your tight end, who's the second best, your running back at the time was the leader for MVP.
He's still 10-1, and I ain't defending him.
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, listen, Tony. It's and by the way, hey, Cody, if you're out there, can you add Jody, please? Jody about to jump on us, man. Jody about to jump in here. Jody wants to get a piece.
Who's
here
Jody?
On the TD report, it's getting hot. It's getting a little hot. Let's cool it. Let's cool it off a little bit. Tony, I agree with you. What you're saying. CJ, you and I are kind of on the same page here. You play who you brought, and injuries are part of the football game. Someone goes down with a high ankle, someone gets a knee, knocked.
Because I think the question was a major factor to the game. That happened in the game, so we can speak on it. We ain't talking about.
Let's do that.
We didn't make excuses. We were talking about the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. The 49ers, guys, take their first loss of the season. The air of invincibility is gone. But let's talk about this. The Browns, with the injuries that they've sustained so far, and we do need to talk about this. Hopefully, Jody is able to get on the show with us. We do need to talk about that shoulder contusion, rotator cuff contusion or whatever on the throwing arm for Deshaun Watson. Is this a big problem? Or is this just a problem that's going to go away? They've already paid this guy, by the way, guys. They've already paid him $90 million because of the way that they structured that deal.
I will say this for Cleveland with Deshaun Watson. After what I saw yesterday, I will stay away from him until he's 100%. I think for the next couple of weeks, if they had to, they just came off a bye. I would play this out because the style that they play right now, we're going to need him later on in the thing because you watch the game. We can't win throwing 2 and 3 interceptions, which Deshaun Watson won't do. I am telling you guys, win or lose yesterday, Cleveland is a scary team. Now, it was Cleveland and the Jets in the AFC for me, and it was Detroit and Seattle in the NFC for me. Those were my 4 scary teams that I thought that could beat anyone. Yesterday, Cleveland proved to me, if that field goal would have gone in, it wouldn't have mattered to me. They proved to me they are not a team to be playing with, man, because if Deshaun Watson does come back healthy and can give us any resemblance of 2020, 2021, man, it's going to be a problem for people over there in that AFC, man. Because
CJ, thanks, Tony. CJ, what do you think? Is this shoulder contusion a problem or a big problem? He was medically cleared to play against the Ravens 2 weeks ago.
It's a problem on a couple different levels. Salary cap wise is a huge problem because, you got dead money on the cap now. So that's going to be a problem. In the
only if you're moving.
And he still got dead money whether he's playing or not. He still counts a big amount against the cap. is what I'm saying. So even if he gets injured, he's still dead money is already there. So the thing that I'm saying is it's a problem in the locker room. Because see, this is what we don't know, is what's happening in that locker room. He was already cleared, right? So the guy beside you said, you're supposed to be playing today. We lost. We needed a quarterback today. We don't know the whole picture. So I can't really speak on it, but it's a problem. It's a big problem. That's the leader of your team. You already took a chance on him with his off the field behavior. He got cleared, and now he won't go out there on the field. He's got to be injured. It's got to be worse than what people are saying. That's what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking that. I hope it's not.
Tony, so that's your answer, CJ. Tony, what's yours again? Is this a big problem, or is this a problem that's going to get worked out?
I think yesterday, by him not playing and knowing him, he must be really hurt, because those are the type of games that Deshaun, you remember, he could have stayed out when he lost everybody in Houston, and he was the only dude out there playing. That was when I became a fan of Deshaun Watson. So he really must think about this. What quarterback is not going to want to play with that damn defense that you got right there?
Right.
I mean, think about it. So he really is hurt. So what a leader would do and what a good coach would do is say, hold on, guys, let's get through this stretch and let's make sure our guy right here is healthy for December and January when it really counts.
Because they got the Browns, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. That's manageable.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I just think that, him, and we don't know the inside. We can get Wydell on the show to probably tell us something. But as that guy, and we do know Deshaun Watson from being with the Texans, he never backed down.
Cool.
He never quit when the franchise quit on him. He didn't quit on them. He must be really hurt, guys. But you see him on that sideline. He's with his teammates. He's going, CJ, Dave, from this day on, I'm telling you, that is not the team that you want to see in that AFC playoff. Reason being, AFC plays that fast finesse ball. Cleveland plays a slow down playoff style ball. So don't get twisted you may get blown out in the regular season, but what they play is a style of ball that's made to win in the playoff months. That's what they play. And I am telling you, CJ, so y'all take this date now. They will be a problem for somebody. If they sneak in at that 7th seed, they will be a problem in the AFC.
I love it. Hey, guys, let's talk about this game coming up, because I don't want to keep CJ too long. Can't have you miss too much of this game. Los Angeles Chargers have...
I ain't missing much of the game. I can promise you that.
Let's talk about this Chargers game. What do you think we're going to see tonight from the Dallas offense? We talked last week a lot about Dak Prescott and his comfort in this offense. New coordinator, Mike McCarthy, is calling the plays, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What do we think we're going to see this week against a Los Angeles Chargers team that is dangerous?
They're only dangerous as the media makes them out to be. I think what you're going to see tonight against the Chargers is we're going to take more shots down the field. We're going to get CeeDee Lamb established in the game. They're going to open up the offense just a little bit, and which is going to open up the run game. I'm expecting big nights from a lot of our key players,
Okay.
I'm expecting CD to have a big game, Pollard to have a big game, and I'm sure expecting Dak to have a big game, efficient game as well. Dallas normally does well coming off of losses anyway. The only concerns I really have, penalties and defensive lapses in the secondary, because they want to force the ball down the field. So our safeties need to be on point tonight. And Kellen Moore's familiarity with the team, that may or may not be a problem, because they kind of offset each other. Just as familiar as he is with us, we are with him as well. We know his tendencies. As a fan, I know the things he likes to do. But one thing that's scary, he loves pushing that ball down the field. So we gotta We got to get some heat on the quarterback. If their quarterback is clean at the end of the night, I already know the score. I don't need to look at the board.
Tony, what do you think?
Just one thing: stop the run and make them one-dimensional. That's all they have to do. And when they make Herbert one-dimensional, that's when Dallas shine. That's when they can turn the dogs loose to get after that quarterback. And our defensive backs are really, really good.
And actually, this is kind of like the perfect game we need because they feed to our strengths. They want to pass, and we want them to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Jody, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's happening? What's up, CJ, TK?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's happening?
Listen,
I know y'all moved on to the game, but I heard a lot of cap on my Browns, man. I ain't feeling that, man. A lot of cap.
Who capped on the Browns, man? I gave y'all credit.
Tell us what you heard.
This what it is, real quick. I know we're gonna get to this game real quick, but when we beat the 49ers, it can't be, well, if they had Debo and man, I don't care what they didn't have. They could have brought Joe Montana and we still would have got at him. Our defense is our defense is the best defense in the league, and we ain't just did it against one team. We done done it against every team this year. We gave up 3 points to the Bengals. We gave up 3 points to the Titans. We gave up only 12 points to the Steelers. Our offense gave up more points than our defense against the Steelers. And then they looking like, well, what about the Raven game? Look at the stats. Our offense turned the ball over, and your boy Lamar Jackson didn't have more than 160 yards passing. We didn't give up but 120 yards rushing. We have not given over 300 yards total offense this whole season. Our defense is the top passing defense in NFL history since 1970 through 5 games.
So let's talk about that. That was a big stat that you put out for us today. This is an after 6-game stat. You have not given up 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
No, it's 1,003.
You gave up 1,003 yards in 6 games.
Yep.
Wow.
But you're 3-2.
We 3-2.
Okay,
right,
talk like you're 3-2 then. Don't come on here all that yada yada yada. We gave y'all respect.
CJ, they're 3-2 in black and blue, baby.
We said that the defense was playing way above the rest, so we did respect you, but I don't know if it's an aberration or what. You got to have both parts of the team playing at the same time. So if your offense ain't matching your defense and Trent Dilfer ain't guiding you and game managing you and not throwing them interceptions, anything can happen on any given week. So you can have that powerhouse defense, but you better do something with that offense. You better bring the punter out or something. Because the turnovers going to have you 500 or going home early.
Nah, we ain't going home early. I'm going to tell you what. I ain't complained not one time when Nick Chubb got hurt. And if anybody know me, I said injuries are a part of the game. I'm hearing all this hoopla. Even when your boy was in the game, McCaffrey, he only had 43 yards. He was averaging under 4 yards to carry when he was in the game. So let's stop the cap on that. Let's stop the cap with the
You sound like you're undefeated, but you're not.
They don't have. We don't need to
no, but the way you're talking above your record, bro. Calm down.
We're half a game out of whoa. We're half a game out of first place.
You're trying
to got the same record y'all got.
But you're talking above your record.
How are we talking above our record? We have a game out of first place.
Y'all the next Johnny, you come on, man. We working with you.
Everybody Johnny Unitas.
We talking above our record,
y'all. Before you came on here, we
talking above our record. But we beat a team that y'all gave up 42 points to.
And you got the same record.
You got a point there, CJ.
Come on now.
He got a point. But, hey, like you said, styles makes fights, right? Okay? So
Dallas didn't fight much against the 49ers.
Yeah. We held Kittles, the second best tight end, 1 catch for 1 yard. Come on, man.
Yeah, that was bad.
Wait a minute. What did Kittles have?
1 catch for 1 yard.
And he had 3 catches, touchdowns against us.
He busted y'all up, Tony.
So my
and listen, I said it on my Facebook page. This goes back to Pete Rozelle. Any given Sunday. That's exactly what this week was about. It really, really was.
No, this week was not any given Sunday. What y'all are failing to realize, this was the week that I knew could come.
I need Jody to come on my show too, because we ain't finished.
I'm with it, baby. Hey, I know y'all want to talk about tonight's game. I know.
No. After tonight's
we
game,
on this now.
What y'all need to talk about is that those 3 defenses that showed up yesterday, they are going to be a problem for the rest of the year. And if y'all think I'm tripping, The Giants are going to be a problem for
No, they-
anybody.
What we
The
gonna bet,
Jets
Joe?
are going to be a
We got to put a
problem.
wage on this. 'cause
And
you
the
talking
Browns
about-
are gonna be
Nah,
a
Boss
problem.
Man, hold on.
Hey.
Boss Man must have given you some extra money.
Hey, you
No,
lost me
and
with
you
the
know I don't
Giants.
like the Giants.
You
And
lost
I
me
only
with
I'm
mess
not
with
worried
the
about
Giants.
it. Tony, the Giants gonna be what? 3-14 at best.
They may be playing for the Caleb Williams Bowl, but they still going to be a problem for
They're
somebody.
terrible.
No, they're not.
The Giants are not. The Giants are not a
Kenny,
problem.
they're terrible.
4
Kenny,
more
they're
weeks.
terrible.
The Giants gonna have boo-boo problems. Everybody, oh, my shoulder, my knee. It ain't gonna happen. You know,
Man, y'all need to stop with
Hey,
that, man.
Tony,
Leave
I
them
told
people
you the
alone.
Giants was going to digress before this season started. Like, I told you that. Remember, I came on here, I said, hey,
You
the
did.
Giants
Hey,
are who we thought they
Jody,
were.
you did say that. But Jody, who did I say was the most dangerous team in the NFC? Say
You
it.
said the-
Say it.
you said the Lions.
Restore the roar. They are the best team in the NFL right
No, they're
now.
not.
No, they're not.
They're the
No,
best
they're not.
team.
Miami,
Tony,
Who did
don't do Tony.
Miami
Don't do
beat the
that.
crap
Don't
out
do
of them.
that to Detroit
Who did
fans.
they beat?
You just see
Who did they
CJ.
beat?
Tony is just getting
Who
people's
beat?
hopes up.
They beat Kansas City in Kansas City,
I
who won
bet
the
they
Super
played
Bowl.
Kansas City right now. Kansas City would destroy them.
Kansas City would tear
Man,
their
you're
up, tear their
crazy.
butt up.
Do you understand that Kansas City only gave up 14 points to them? They got one interception off of Tony. The dude had brick hands. Like,
Who
come
won
on,
the
man.
game?
Look, Kansas City.
What you say, Jody?
Do
Who
you-
won the game?
Do you understand? The Lions won. But do you understand that Kansas City is only giving up 13 points a game?
Hey, so we can go back to this.
Very
Okay.
underrated defense.
October
Yes.
16th, 2023. Restore the roar.
Listen,
Those boys
you
are
jumping on the
serious over there.
bandwagon, but once again, Detroit is gonna turn back into Detroit, man. Look, I'm from Ohio. I see this like Cleveland. I'm hype over Cleveland because I've been a fan since '84, so I get to be hyped at some point. Detroit is right up the road. Actually, Detroit is closer to me than it is Cleveland, and Detroit is Detroit. Detroit has let us down so many times. They don't even have real fans in Detroit. So you talking about restore the roar? That's cool. But guess what? They're gonna turn into a pumpkin because that's who they are. They're gonna be exactly who we thought they are, and we're gonna let them off the hook.
Man, you see,
Nice Dennis Green pull right
you
there,
guys
Jody. I
need to
see.
stop
I see what you
doing
did there. I see
when
that.
these
I see that.
teams like
Hey
that.
CJ, let's get back on this. Let's get back on this Cowboy game because we got to get CJ out of here. Listen, Jody, you listen to us talking about this game. Everybody's giving their take. Well, I haven't, but everybody else is. Tony and CJ have. What's your take on this game tonight? What do you think we're going to see?
Hey, first of all, hey, love you, CJ, already, man. I love you already, man. I love you already, man. But
Yeah.
what I see in this game is actually I'm thinking that the Cowboys can win this game. First and foremost, they can win this game because Brandon Staley he coaches like he playing Madden. And you can't go for 4th and 7 in your own territory on a consistent basis.
Right.
It's okay to punt the football. You got Khalil Mack, you got Joey Bosa, you got Derwin James, you got Asante Samuels out there, Jr. Let the defense get on the field and make plays. You don't trust that defense, and you spend a lot of money on that mediocre defense. The Cowboys are going to get back to what they do best, and that's running the football. If you're going to get Tony Pollard an opportunity, get the ball in Tony Pollard's hands 20 to 25 times, whether it be in the pass game and a rush game. Zach Martin is the best guard in the NFL. I've said it and I'm going to say it again. Run behind Zach Martin, that offensive line that's better with the run than they are pass protection. They win the game. Make it simple, Cowboys. Don't try to get cute. Go out there and beat the Chargers because y'all are a better team, and y'all a better team than what y'all 3-2 record shows.
I can dig that. I'm really excited to see this game tonight. I like the Chargers. I like them as a franchise. Let me go against convention here. Okay. I'm going to take the Chargers tonight.
Hey, Dave.
Is that just your football talk saying it, or is your wallet backing it up? I'm just asking a question.
Hey,
Let's just say I have an ulterior motive.
Well,
had Justin Herbert won a playoff game yet? The great white hype?
Ooh, let's not get all racial.
No, I wouldn't. I hope it didn't come off like that.
I'm just
saying,
kidding. I'm kidding, everybody.
me, it was a phrase,
when you
but-
look at quarterbacks and you're looking at a definition for quarterback, I'm pretty sure you'll see a picture of Justin Herbert. But guess
He
what?
should be.
I could care less if you throw for 8 million yards. I don't care if your quarterback have negative 7 yards past at the end of the game. If you're the quarterback under center and you win, I like you.
Winning counts.
Well,
all that
I
matters.
would say this, and a friend of the show that watches us all the time, Tommy Johnson, shout out to Tommy. He says that 1-loss record for a quarterback is a meaningless statistic. A little too much weight is put against that because obviously the quarterback don't play D, right?
I get that, but guess what? If you look at the top quarterbacks in NFL history's win-loss record, they're normally the top 10, top 20 quarterbacks in NFL history. You look at Joe Montana, you look at Terry Bradshaw, you look at Troy Aikman, you look at Peyton Manning,
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino. If you look at those guys, they win-loss record is reflecting of what kind of quarterback they are. So guess what? You got a quarterback that's one of the top quarterbacks to erase what the defense does if the defense is not good.
Your quarterback is paid to erase the mistakes that everyone else makes. That's
exactly
what they're paid for.
A good quarterback with a good 1-loss record puts his defense in position to win games.
And that's my point. If you look at any quarterback with a bad win-loss record, you're looking at a quarterback that didn't last a long time in the NFL. If you look at a quarterback with good win-loss record, they probably played 10+ years. Maybe it was underrated, but I think the win-loss record is very substantial for a quarterback because at the end of the day, they're normally one going to get blamed if they don't win. I don't care who you are.
And let's run this down. This is more a quarterback 1-loss record. There is a component where they're on the field making the plays. Okay. Right. But there's also another component in this era of football. The offensive coordinator, on the other hand, is the one making the play calls. Now, if you talk about the old school guys, the Dan Marinos, the John Elways, those guys, they call their own plays. Today's NFL quarterback generally is not calling his own plays. Not on the field, not at the field level.
He has input out of a lot of those calls.
He has an input into what we're going to run. Like a Tom Brady will be like, hey guys, he'll be talking with his coordinator. These are what I kind of like to run. This is what we've agreed upon. So what's going to be coming in through that headset is in certain situations, 3rd and 5, we're trying to throw the ball. There's going to be a finite amount of what's going to come to him because what he's going to get is what he and the offensive coordinator and the coach have all agreed where they want to run in certain situations.
Hey Jay, the difference is that they always have a check with me, which means that if they're in this, check to this, most quarterbacks in this new way have a whole lot of that. Now, some of the quarterbacks are afraid to use it because they're afraid of whatever, however you have it. But, you know, most of the systems are, if they're here or here, we're going to do this. If they move, then you'll see them, you know, audible. Or sometimes you'll see them dummy audible. Well, we don't know because we don't know what the live call is. Right. Is how much leeway do they have at quarterback and how much do they use it? We don't know that unless we in the film room with them and we know the actual call. We may think we know, but we really don't
exactly.
Know. But this is for like CJ, because like I said, I love him already. Listen, man, and I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna keep it completely frank. And I know Tommy's my guy. But this is the thing: win-loss record matter because if you look at the people that win Super Bowls, normally they got a win high loss record. We all have played at a high level. I played college basketball. I played some football in high school, but I played college basketball at the highest level. My thing is this. If you look at a quarterback, normally people play harder for certain quarterbacks than they do for other quarterbacks. When you see John Elway come on that field, you're going to play a little bit harder for John Elway than you would play for Gary Kubiak. That's why he's the backup. You're going to play a little harder when you see Lamar Jackson because every time he touched the field, you know you got a chance to win. That's why win-loss records should matter for quarterbacks because you get a different output when that quarterback on the field. If you ask any of Pat Mahomes' teammates on defense, they say we got a chance every time number 15 touched the field. So you can't tell me that doesn't mean anything. And then the other side of the ball, if they know they playing against Aaron Rodgers, that other team is not going to settle for field goals. They're going to try to go for it for 7 because they know they got to put a lot of points up against Aaron Rodgers to beat him. So we cannot throw that stat out the window.
Thanks, CJ.
I appreciate y'all. Hey,
CJ's going to jump off. Thanks, everybody.
Inbox, bro.
I got you. You got to stick around. You and Tony stick around. Thanks, CJ. Appreciate you, buddy.
I got you, CJ.
So listen, I like what you're saying here, Jody, and we're going to have to talk about it even further. Let's look at something, one more thing before we end tonight on the TD Report. We got Jody that came in a little late. Thanks for joining us, because we had to talk about the Browns for you, buddy. Give you boys some love, man.
Hey, man, I'm not saying y'all gave mad love to him, especially Tony. Good, both of y'all, and CJ did too. It was just, I'm tired of every time we say that the Cleveland won, the first thing come out of a 49er or NFL, watching ESPN, Fox, everybody said, well, they were at full strength. Come on, man. Y'all can't say that, man. Quit. Like, if you're that's what you got, a 53-man active roster, and you got 12 practice squad players to build the best team. And I do want to say something, Dave, to Tony. This is my guy. You know, that's my guy right here. Brock Purdy is still an MVP candidate. He just ran into the best defense in the NFL.
He had a rough game.
Because Brock Purdy is still 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. He still has over 68% completion percentage. That was his first regular season loss of his career. And he basically could have still won that game if his kicker.
He should have won that game.
He could have won the game if his kicker
should have won that game. Kicker blew it.
So
let's talk about this also. Something we want to talk about in our ongoing conversations. I'm going to leave you guys with this. The era of the game manager is over. And I'll say that. This is what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, Tony. Hold on. Let me finish. You can't expect to get to a certain level in a game and then coast and just manage your way out of it, because the offenses have the advantage. The longer you keep your defense out there, if you're trying to hold a lead, you're at risk. And I think the key now in football now, you can't just get, hey, we're going to get our 26 points and we're going to coast on that. You can't do that anymore. You have to continue to move the football. You have to continue to score.
Well, the rules are the ones. The rules make you right. The rules doesn't allow you to do what you just said. But I think we need to start changing that from just a game manager to someone who is taking what the defense actually gives them. And, take what you give them. I was watching Dak last week and watched some of the film of them showing Dak. That one sack was Dak's fault because his left tackle had the guy blocked up. Dak's eyes took him to something that was bigger when all he had to do was check off to something that was small. And he floated left, got sacked, and it looked bad. It looked like his line didn't do the job. Dak didn't do his job, okay? You asking the quarterback, what you asking the quarterback, if I'm Cleveland, if I'm the Giants, if I'm the Jets, guys, just hit the open man. Hit the open man. Let's run the ball. Let's play. I don't need you to throw 50,000 touchdowns. What I need you to do is flip this field for me and put a little bit of pressure on their defense and flip the field for me and keep my defense fresh over there. Now, that style ball ain't going to ever leave because in the playoffs, that style ball will win you games. It will win you games.
Dave, I'm going to go a little bit. I know we got to go. I'm going to go a little bit different on this.
We'll let you end it.
I understand, Tony, what he's saying, but I don't think it's the game management aspect that's killing the game. It's the lack of running and the lack of productivity out of the running game. So when you have a quarterback that I think game managers need to come back, because if Dak Prescott was more of a game manager, the Cowboys may be close to 4-1, maybe 5-0, because they want him to be. Everybody can't be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody can't be Aaron Rodgers. There's only a couple of those guys out here. So when you got guys, some of these guys need to run a hard play action. That's how Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, off of being a game manager, hard play action down the field. Troy Aikman had much success. Mark Rippon had much success from running the ball, hard play action, getting linebackers to come up, going right over the top of those linebackers in between the safeties. That's how you win football games. But the running game, if you look at the teams like the Detroit Lions, the Miami Dolphins, the Ravens, all the teams that got first place, look at how many attempts they have rushing the ball. And normally the team with the most rushing attempts are probably the best teams in football right now. Not rushing yards, but rushing attempts. And attempts mean that if I can get more attempts than you, that means my defense is rested up. And if we get a lead, most teams that I just named, Detroit, Miami, Kansas City, all got great edge rushers, and now they can get after your quarterback and they can make everybody uncomfortable.
I can dig it. Hey, everybody, we're going to let Jody have the last word on that. Appreciate you coming on the show. We're repping your Cleveland Browns. Great week this year. Great week this last week. And you guys got 11 games to go. Try to get yourself in there. Hey, man, get your boy Deshaun Watson healthy. Get him back out there on the field.
Hey,
man.
listen, man, Deshaun, I want him to take as much time as possible because this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
Okay.
Marathon, not a 5K. So
TK, thanks for joining us. Hey, guys, rest in peace to Wayne the Voice, man. Rest in peace, Wayne.
Yes,
thanks for joining us tonight on the TD Report. I'm David Combs. For Jody Coleman and for Tony Kennedy and CJ, thanks for joining us tonight, CJ. Good luck to the Cowboys tonight. I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
All right. Rest in peace, Wayne.